and welcome to another episode of the MMK Show. Today, we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic for Amazon and e-commerce sellers around the world, and that is product compliance. If you're selling in Amazon US or any marketplace in the world, compliance is really, really important. Not only does Amazon have requirements for certificates that they require you to upload, but each country has their own specific regulations that you must follow when you import into the country. So today we've got experts from HQTS. Now, HQTS is an awesome company that does testing, inspections. They are partners of India Sourcing Network, Vietnam Sourcing Trip, India Sourcing Trip, and we're delighted to have them with us here today to talk about product compliance. And today we're also going to give the first 20 people that sign up a free product compliance check. So if you have a product that you want to sell on Amazon, but you're not sure of the compliance requirements, our experts at HQTS will help you with that for free. But that's only for the first 20 people. So when we start the webinar, about halfway through the webinar, we're going to show you a QR code, and you've got to scan the QR code, submit the form, but the catch is that only the first 20 people who sign up for this offer will be able to get the free product compliance check. So you've got to hurry once we show you the QR code. All right. So we're just going to go around the room introducing everybody, and then we'll get straight to the content. So my name is Meghla Bharadwaj. I'm based in India. I'm the co-founder of India Sourcing Network, India Sourcing Trip, and Vietnam Sourcing Trip. I've been in the sourcing industry for over 20 years, and currently we help global importers, Amazon e-commerce sellers source products from India and Vietnam. And I've got with me my partners, Margaret and Kevin. Margaret, would you like to give an introduction?
Yes, certainly. Well, obviously, I'm Meghla's partner in crime, so ditto to everything she has just said. And look, I originally started sourcing products from China back in 2017, pivoted late that year to sourcing from India, and the rest is history. We have been partners with Meghla ever since, and sourcing and selling products from India and doing Vietnam trip.
Awesome. Kevin.
Yeah, well, my name's Kevin. I'm a partners in crime with M&M, the famous Meghla and Margaret, and I'm also life partners with Margaret. We're Amazon sellers. We're also part of the India sourcing trip, the Vietnam sourcing trip. I work a lot in the back end, so to speak, but I also get thrown into the front end occasionally, or most of the time. But so that's my background.
Awesome. Amazing. And we've got our speaker for today, Thomas Yang. Thomas, would you like to give an introduction?
Yeah. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas Yang from HQTS, and I have over a decade of professional expertise in product compliance, expertise in non-food products across the US, EU, UK, and AU markets, specialized knowledge in various categories of general consumer goods. For example, toys, electronics, furniture, textile, medical device, and cosmetic, and more. Proven track record of assisting large multinational retailer brands with compliance, along with numerous small to medium-sized Amazon sellers. Yeah, today I will guide you. Yeah, go through the compliance knowledge with you. Okay.
Amazing. A decade of experience in product compliance. So really looking forward to your content. And of course, we've got Victor from HQTS. Victor.
Hi, good morning, Meghla. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Victor, and I'm one of the marketing managers at HQTS. Been with this company for about 2 years and managing the North America and Southeast Asia region. And I'm based in our Shanghai office here in China. So we're excited to be here and to share knowledge about product compliance with everyone here. Thank you.
Awesome. Amazing. So everyone watching, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We will be taking questions at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to share screen and we'll get right into our presentation. Now we have we have some new audiences. Actually, Thomas, can you share screen? Okay, wait, got it, fine. Yeah. This is Thomas's screen. Yeah. So, so we have some new audiences joining us. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of what India Sourcing Network does. So first of all, we offer a done-for-you sourcing service. We are a sourcing agency, and we can help manage the entire sourcing process for you from India. That's our main focus, but we also do sourcing in Vietnam and China. And we manage the entire process, including finding suppliers, developing prototypes, sampling, negotiating, and even quality control as well. We also offer sourcing trips to Vietnam and to India. So in case you want to, learn how to source from these markets, because Vietnam and India are very different from China, and they're very up and coming sourcing markets. So we bring people in groups or also private sourcing trips to India and Vietnam to to teach them how to source products in these markets, and also to attend trade shows, and also to experience the culture in India and Vietnam. So you can get more information at indiasourcingtrip.com and also vietnamsourcingtrip.com. In fact, our next Vietnam trip is coming up in April. In case anyone's interested, most welcome to join us there. All right, so now let's get into the topic. And before we hand things over to Thomas, Victor is going to be going over the agenda and also telling us a little bit about HQTS. So Victor, over to you.
Thank you so much, Megla, and thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. So I think today's topic is extremely important. It's related to product compliance, and that's often something that we tend to forget when we are sourcing or when we are launching new products. And many of the times when we get inquiries, we hear a lot of different stories of sellers that have gotten warnings or their listings disapproved by Amazon. And so I'm hoping that with today's webinar that you get a better understanding of the product compliance and some of the key things that you need to consider when you are listing your products in Amazon in terms of product compliance. So first, we'll be going through a basic understanding of what is product compliance. We'll look at the impact of Amazon's product compliance policy on sellers. Then Thomas will talk about the key requirements for product compliance within the Amazon US marketplace. And we'll also share some of our real-life case studies of previous Amazon sellers and the challenges that they've experienced with the product compliance. And we'll end up with sharing some tips of best practices for how you can ensure compliance with Amazon's requirements, and have a Q&A session where we answer some of your questions. And as Megla mentioned in the beginning, we'll have a free product compliance check that you'll be able to scan and fill out the form. The first 20 inquiries we'll do for free. So if you need help with any product compliance inquiries, this is your chance. So let's go to the next slide. Thank you, Thomas. So just a quick background about HQTS. We are one of the oldest and largest third-party quality control companies in Asia. We are accredited by ISO for our testing and inspections, and we have presence in across 40 countries. Also strong presence in key manufacturing regions, and that includes in China, in India, and in Vietnam. And we have worked with over 15,000 international brands across the world. We have our own testing laboratories, of which it's also Amazon SPN certified testing laboratory. So we can go ahead with the next slide. Thank you. So what we recognize in HQTS is that many Amazon sellers face different challenges at each stage of their supply chain. So our company is here to help you overcome all of them. So whether that is including of auditing your suppliers, inspecting the products before shipment, or helping you understand the compliance requirement for your market, to testing it in a accredited testing laboratory, to engineering the product and optimizing the production processes at the factory. And that is a quick introduction about HQTS. And I will go ahead and pass it along to Thomas, who will talk about today's topic. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Before Thomas starts, I just want to remind everyone who's joining, because I see that Michelle is asking, did you give away the inspection form? No, Michelle, we haven't given it away yet. So around halfway through the presentation, we're going to show a QR code, and once you scan that, you'll be able to fill in a form to get your product checked and to get like a free compliance check. So just wait for that. Okay, Thomas, over to you.
Okay. Okay. So let's consider a very common scenario when you find a suitable product and want to list it on Amazon for sale. Next, what may give you a headache is your product is subject to Amazon's compliance control. Your product may be affected by one or more Amazon compliance requirements. And talking about the compliance, product compliance, I'm sure many of you have had some exposure or your own understanding. Product compliance in a nutshell means ensuring that the product meets applicable regulations and legal requirements. Regulations in this context are quite extensive in the United States, with various governmental departments issuing rules for different product categories. For example, the CPSC, the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, oversees consumer goods like toys, children's products, home dec, certain building materials, and furniture. The FDA manages medical device, cosmetic products, food, and medicines. And the EPA deals with products related to the environment, while the DOE, the U.S. Department of Energy, oversees energy-related products. For Amazon sellers, the top priority is to ensuring their products comply with U.S. regulations. It's worth noting that Amazon's compliance requirements generally align with the national law. In general, product compliance requirements include design and manufacturing specifications, safety standards, quality criteria, environmental impact, energy efficiency requirements, and information provided to the user, such as the labels, manuals, and a safety warning. At the same time, sellers have to bear some responsibilities. They need to conduct the tests on the product according to the regulations and standards, typically in the recognized third-party labs. For instance, CPSC requires testing in an accredited CPSC laboratory. HQTS is one of these laboratories. Sellers also must compile and retain technical documentation, including design drawings, test reports, certification, declarations, etc. When requested, they may need to provide this information to the Amazon compliance team. Additionally, seller must adhere to product notification requirements. If a product is found to have a safety issue, sellers need to inform Amazon and, if necessary, initiate a recall. For certain products, like those involving status-listed wood or wood products, special permits or due diligence may be required during the import process. Absolutely, Amazon's compliance policy have a significant impact on sellers. The seller have to invest more time and effort in understanding Amazon's compliance policy. Sellers need to dedicate more time and effort to comprehend and learn Amazon's compliance policies. As mentioned earlier, Amazon adheres to U.S. regulations, meaning you have to spend time learning both U.S. laws and Amazon internal rules. Amazon internal rules can be even more stringent in practical application, especially for products in the gray area where regulation lack clear boundaries. But Amazon categorize controlled products. possibly hiring experienced compliance engineers to tackle Amazon's challenges. Sellers might find it necessary to hire experienced compliance and engineers to handle challenges from Amazon. When your product gets rejected by Amazon, understanding the reasons and devising solutions became crucial. Challenges for FBA sellers, particularly for FBA sellers storing their goods in Amazon warehouses. Non-compliant products not only lead to your products being taken down, but also result in the inability to transfer your warehouse in inventory to other platforms. Moreover, if your compliance issues are not resolved, your inventory will remain frozen, causing more significant losses. You might have received notification emails from Amazon informing you about missing documents or stating that your product does not comply with certain regulation. However, these notifications often lack detailed explanations or specific steps to address these issues. So sellers found it necessary for themselves, relying on their own resources or seeking external assistance to navigate through these challenges. Next, I would like to provide an overall introduction to Amazon's product compliance requirement. Different products fall under the jurisdiction of various regulatory bodies, and applicable laws and standards vary accordingly. For common products like toys, children's items, home decor, textile, clothing, and more, the typical regulations include the CPSIA, the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act, which governs chemical hazards in the products, and the CFR, the Code of Federal Regulations, encompass a wider range of safety, quality, and other requirements for various products. And the standards, for example, the ASTM standards, UL standards, ANSI or ISO standards, when they referenced in regulations, these standards became mandatory requirements. Once sellers understanding the regulatory requirements, they need to schedule tests, obtaining test reports and certificates such as the CPC, the Children's Product Certificate, and the GCC, General Certificate of Conformity, which are common for products regulated by the CPSC. These technical documents must be uploaded to the Amazon platform for review by the Amazon's compliance team. Only after successful review can the product be listed for sale. In addition, labeling is a crucial compliance requirement. Common requirements include indicating the country of origin, traceability labels, and specific labels requirements based on particular standards. Sellers may not have sufficient time to understand the regulation and standards. Therefore, seeking external resources for assistance became a necessary approach. Here are some examples for the selected categories: toys, children's clothing, and children's jewelry. You can see the applicable regulation and standards and the required technical documentation for these three categories of the products. Here I want to explain the content and the requirements of this standard. Just want to make you aware that different products will subject to different regulations and have their own documentation requirements. Please notice that This is only for general requirements for product category. If it is for specific products such as electric toys, not only do you need to consider the requirements for the toy, but also the regulatory requirements for accessory like a battery and chargers. Moreover, there are also composite products, for example, in the toy set. Besides the toy, there may be children's jewelry or clothing, so the corresponding requirements for these products need to be considered together. If you are currently developing a new product or have any question about the requirement list for your product, you can register your product information into this form via the QR code provided in the right. We will offer
let's
free.
just wait. Yeah, go ahead, Thomas. Sorry, finish first.
We will offer free consultation and provide a requirements list as mentioned in the previous slide. You can make a screenshot, and we will also share the QR code and the link with you after the meeting.
Yeah, so let's just give people a couple of minutes to scan the QR code, and we'll also scroll the bit.ly link. So note that this is limited to the first 20 people that register, that fill in this form. So scan the QR code with your phone, and then just fill in the form. So Michelle, now's your chance to do this. And you can also go to the link bit.ly/HQTS-check. In case you're not able to scan the code, you can go to this link as well, type it in your browser. And yep, so just go ahead and do that, and then we will continue. And we'll send you the slides later on as well, although I think we'll probably get 20 people already while we're doing the webinar, because there are more people watching. So I'm sure everyone's interested in this compliance check report, because this is one of the biggest questions that we get all the time. Like, what are the requirements for so-and-so product? And, because it's so complicated. It's not easy to find this information. And Victor, how much do you generally charge for this kind of check, that you're offering free to our audience, like exclusively?
Yeah, thank you, Megla. So I think, Thomas, maybe you can address that question. What's generally, this is a one-time offer that we do for exclusive for this.
$80 US.
$80 US.
Okay, $80 US. Great, awesome. Okay, so Thomas, we can continue.
Okay. And we HQTS offer Amazon compliance consulting, and here are a few cases we'd like to share. Let's start with the first one involving the Transformer toys. Our client is an importer based in California. They import these toys from China to the United States and sell them on Amazon. However, the client had no idea about the Amazon specific compliance requirements for this product. We stepped in based on the information provided by the client, outlined the Amazon compliance requirements. This includes things like the ASTM F963 standard for toys, CPSI regulations covering the lead and the fast rates, CPSA section for the checking labels, and obtaining a CPC, the Children's Product Certificate. We also assisted the client in arranging the necessary tests, emphasizing that we are an accredited lab by CPSC, and our test report is widely accepted by Amazon. Furthermore, we prepare a complete set of technical documentation required by Amazon and created a compliant label for the client. All these efforts contributed to the client successfully listing and selling their product on Amazon. Let's move on to the second product, the Infant Sleepwear. This time it's about an Amazon seller from Ohio. They import infant sleepwear from China and sell it on Amazon platform. This issue they faced was that their product was blocked from listing due to a lack of sufficient technical documentation. Amazon didn't provide a detailed requirement, and the guys all got the seller on what to do, leaving them unsure about the next steps. We step in to examine the existing documentation, identify what is missing, and help to arrange the necessary tests. After resubmitting, Amazon accepted the technical documentation, allowing the seller to successfully list their infant sleepwear for sale. You might find it challenging to navigate Amazon's compliance policies. Indeed, grasping all the details within an hour can be difficult. However, I can offer an insight into best practices for ensuring the compliance. Let me break down the steps for you, helping seller navigating through what needs to be done. Step one, identify the applicable regulation and the product standards, and then understand the specific requirements in the regulation and the product standards. Typically, something manufacturer or designer need to be considered during the product development. If you are sourcing products directly, your job is to convey this information to your suppliers. Make sure they understand Amazon's requirements, covering aspects like safety, EMC, quality, testing, fire retardant features, technical files, labeling, and more. Arrange testing in accredited third-party labs and get test reports or certificates. Step 4, prepare the technical files. Organize technical documentation like that align with Amazon requirements. Design labels and manufacture manuals according to the regulation and standards. Implement quality control. Organize mass production and ship to USA market. Finally, have a plan in place for inspection by Amazon or regulatory authorities. These steps ensure you are covering all bases when it comes to Amazon compliance, from understanding regulation to deliver compliant products to the USA market. And today we discussed a lot, introducing the product regulations in the United States, Amazon compliance requirements, and how to meet these requirements. We also shared 2 case studies aimed to helping everyone better understand how HQTS helps clients smoothly list their product on Amazon and how to address compliance challenges with Amazon. This is the content we are sharing today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us via the email or phone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that,
thank
Thomas.
You.
And yeah, great. Can we just go back to the slide to show the QR code? I think, is it on the next slide? Yes, there it is. Awesome. So let's just show the QR code for a bit in case people have not signed up. So guys, if you have any questions, type them in the comments. And we have received quite a few questions from people who registered for the webinar. And I see some questions here in the chat as well. So first of all, Mary is asking, is $80 per product or is it per consult? So Thomas, this is for the compliance check.
For one product. for one
Okay.
product.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very.
yeah,
It is per
yeah,
product.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Kulbahar is asking, can you please tell us how to get CPC certificate without lab test for small shipments of children's products? Kulbahar, I think that's
Uh,
very difficult. I
ac-
don't know. Thomas,
yeah,
is it
actually,
possible?
CPSC require testing. If
Yeah.
your product is fall within the scope of CPC, then there will be a specific standard given in their list. Yeah, you have to comply with ensure your product comply with the standard. Then you can make the CPC. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a
So
must.
lab test is
Is a must.
required. Yeah.
Yeah, it's required.
Yeah. So Kulbahar, sorry, lab test is required, whether you're doing small shipment or big shipment. And so
Yeah.
that's why I think it's important to not do very small orders, if you're doing toys, because then it doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, generally, how much does a test cost? I mean, of course, it varies depending on the
Yeah.
product and certifications. But in
Yeah.
general, is it, a few $100, a few thousand? Like, can you give us a range? Because sometimes people are just afraid of that, oh my God, testing is going to cost too much. But it doesn't cost that much, right?
Yeah. Cost varies from hundreds to $1,000s. Yeah.
Yeah. But like for toys, like a CPSI test for toys,
Yeah.
approximately how
Actually,
much would that be?
depend on the specific type of toys and the features. For example, you just non-electric toy or electric toy, the cost is different. The
Okay.
Because for electric toy, the more aspects need to be considered. For example,
Yeah.
the safety and the chemical substance. Yeah, just more, so
Correct.
cost more. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say a very simple wooden toy that doesn't have any electrical components or parts. Approximately how much would that be? Very
Uh,
broadly.
uh, so the most concerned thing with the wooden toy, uh, at least the standard F963 has to be considered. Yeah, yeah. And for others, the chemical substance requirements under the CPSC, for example, the requirement for the lead and the facility and the cadmium should be considered. Yeah, this is a general requirements for for general toys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if there are any more questions. Okay. So Oksana is asking, do you work with food related products like kitchenware? So I think she's not asking about food as such, but items that come in contact with food. So let's say,
Yeah,
dinner
yeah,
plates and things like that. So are there any requirements for items that come in contact with food?
yeah. For the full contact material, it is also in our scope. We have ability to test this kind of issue, this kind of stuff. Yeah. We cover the FDA requirement and EU market. Yeah. There, if your product shipped to the USA, then FDA testing is required. If you ship the product to the EU market, then there is a specific directive and standards applicable. Yeah. And for the testing, that depends on the material of the product. There are different standards for the tested standards for different material. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So Oksana, it might help you to just, submit the compliance check request because I think you have the specific product. Okay, so
Yeah.
Kulbahar is
Yeah.
saying, let us take the example of sleepwear for infants. How much would the test cost? So, just a ballpark figure. Is it possible, Thomas, to give like an estimate of
Yeah.
how much it would cost?
Yeah. No, maybe you can send your product information to us. We can reply you soon in 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to
Okay. Okay.
assess the product features. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay, cool. Bahar, so you could probably fill in the form as well. I think that will help you.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle is asking, does the $80 get you all the tests that might be needed for Amazon?
No, the $80 is just for the compliance check, not include the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Just
I
for
mean, it tells you, yeah, so it tells you all the tests that are needed, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah.
We were covering
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the compliance requirements. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So Michelle, they will tell you what the requirements are. Then of course you have to go and get the tests done separately. So that's a separate cost.
Yeah.
But this is just to give you an idea of what is
And
required.
in addition, we also check the compliance documents. For example, you already have get the test report or certificate or other material from your supplier. We will have to check. We will have you to list out the requirements for the labeling, packaging, all the aspects required by the legal laws.
Okay. Okay, another question from Michelle. How do you know if Amazon needs testing? Is it listed on Seller Central? Yeah, that's a good question. Like, how do people know? What are the requirements?
This is part of the resources. We also needed to consider the U.S. laws, in which is specified in the U.S. CFR. CFR, this is a legal database. Yeah. Much more needed to be considered.
Okay. So, Michelle, most of Amazon's requirements are based on US regulation. So that's what you need to really focus on, to get those tests done. And then I think for specific categories, Amazon will have requirements. For toys, I know that Amazon's requirements are very clear and they're in fact mentioned on their portal, on Seller Central, so you can get information from there as well. But by and large, like Marg, I mean, I don't think for products that we source from India, like wooden, metal products, we don't generally need any certifications for Amazon, right?
Well, we haven't, but I mean, we never know, I suppose, when they're going to crack down and just decide to look at a particular product. And I mean, like, I think people are getting confused, like how much it's going to be and why there's a difference. I mean, would I be right in saying, say, the sleepwear, it could be a totally different set of checks if it's a nylon sleepwear suit to a pure cotton. So all those things are going to make a difference, I'm imagining, to the testing required. Is that right, Thomas?
Yeah. If the product is listed as status wood, there are additional requirements or the import process needed to be performed for the status product. For example, the export permit or import permit. Yeah, this is another procedure to be go through.
Yeah, so there's no one size fits all. You can't say that, wood has this, because it'll depend on whether it's painted, whether it's sealed, whether it's got lacquer, there's all those things come into play. Is that right? And each one would be different. And
maybe you, as a manufacturer or the importer, you need to check the supply chain, collect all the necessary documentation to prove that the information is true. The documentation is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is another topic. Yeah.
So sometimes, Thomas, like the manufacturer will get testing done themselves. So is that valid, or does the importer have to have the test under their own company name?
Not necessary. Even if the product tested by the manufacturer, the importer can get collect the test report from their supplier. It is accepted. Yeah.
Okay, great.
But
okay, that's good to know.
Need to make additional that the product imported to the U.S. market is exactly the the ones listed in the test report or listed in the certificate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're designing a new product, for example, it's your own design, your own materials, then of course you need to get a test done separately. Okay, let's see. Michelle has another question. Do you do California Prop 65 test?
Yes, it is also in our scope. We can do a test. We can make an assessment. If you provided the product information to us, the material, if any coating or the painting on the surface, we will do the assessment to find out the high risk substance which is probably included in the material. Then arrange the test. Yeah.
Okay. Mary's asking, are the lead and cadmium testing from labs in India acceptable?
If the product under the CPSC, then the lab should be the CPSC accredited laboratories. You can find the laboratory in the database which established by CPSC. There is a laboratory database there. Yeah.
Okay. And HQTS labs in India are accredited, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
are
testing laboratory in China. Yeah,
Yes.
well,
China and India.
China. In India, we don't have our own testing laboratory. We have in Vietnam and in China. Yeah, those are the
Okay,
two.
so you don't do testing in India as such, but you have partners in India, right?
We have partner laboratories. Yes.
yeah, we have partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mary, I mean, to answer your question, yes, of course, the testing is accepted, but the lab should be accredited. Okay, is this cost including submitting the request for CPC? So submitting the request for
Submit the
CPC,
request?
which cost?
You mean the 80?
Or does
Yeah,
you mean
not
the
the eight-
cost of the test?
Do you mean the cost of the test, Kulbhar, or the cost of the review, like the $80 for the check? So the $80 definitely does not include any submission.
But we can have you check the content. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see any more questions here, but we've got questions from people who registered, so I'm going to take those questions. Let's see. How to source UK and EU compliant cosmetic products out of China? And what is the certifications required and the process? What do I need to sell dinnerware? Okay, that's a different question. So cosmetics from China to EU and UK. What advice can you give people, Thomas?
Cosmetic. So purchase the cosmetic product from China and sell them in UK and EU. Yeah.
Correct.
Actually, the critical parts for cosmetic in EU and the UK are similar. They include safety assessment and the safety report, labeling, the GMP. It's kind of quality management, adhere to the ISO 22716, and finally submitting the notification on the CPNP for EU market and SCP for UK market. The general process is to do the safety assessment, prepare the technical file, make a correct label, and submit the notification. The specific requirements for the different product is not same. So I think it's better to provide your product information, and we will help you check the applicable requirement and the step-by-step organized operation. So I think it's not easy to just give you an answer how to source UK and EU, how to source the cosmetic, but we can help you to check if they have all the required documentation in place. Yeah. So
Right.
that's case by case issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for application submission to CPSC. So, who does the application submission? Is it required to upload the test reports over here?
Submission to. Uh, Actually, you don't need to submit any application to CPSC. Yeah, you just follow the requirement. If they give the standards for a specific product, you just ensure arrange a test and ensure that your product is complying with this standard. But no, there is no procedure to submit something to CPSC.
Yeah. So you just need to make sure that you have the documentation with you. And I mean, some documents are mandatory to show in customs, right, when you're importing the product into the US, but other
If you,
certifications are
uh,
not mandatory to show, right?
yeah, if you mean the CPC, a CPC is a kind of declaration based on the test reports or the documentation you have. If you present already comply with the applicable regulations, then you can make the CPC by yourself. Yeah. So
Right.
it is not
You're saying, yeah,
application submitted to the CPC. Finally, you have all the documentation and make the CPC. Then you have to submit all this documentation to Amazon's platform. They will check all the detail.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. So Kulbahar, you have to submit the documents to Amazon or upload the documents on Amazon, and Seller
Yeah,
Central, but
submit a
not on
CPC. Yeah.
CPC. Yeah,
Yes,
submit the
submit
documents
the
there.
CPC to the Amazon. To Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Michelle is asking, how long does it take to get the checklist of testing needed for a product?
3 work days. 3 work days.
Okay, 3 working
Yeah.
days. Okay. We had another question here. Does the manufacturer require to have a URN to add to the law label and ultimately sell in the state? Is there a workaround for small manufacturers?
Actually, it's a URN is URN is a uniform register number, which is applicable for the upholstery furniture. It is necessary for
Okay.
manufacturer or factory to apply a URN to add it to the law label. No exemption for small factories. Furthermore, each factory location must have its own law label, must have its own URN. If your company has multiple factories, then you must have each factory registered with a different URN. This number is assigned by any of the 14 registration states, and then is used for application to all other states. Currently, there are 14 states require such URN code. URN, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Great.
Yeah.
So, guys, let us know if you have any more questions over here. Let me see if we've got more questions that were submitted. So I think most questions have been covered. How can sellers identify the applicable product compliance regulations relevant to their specific type of product? That was one question. So, of course, each product is different. Thomas has covered that already. Okay, which product categories are particular sensitive to stringent compliance requirements? Maybe we can cover this. So, like, which specific product categories do sellers need to be more cautious of?
Actually, the products related to sensitive populations, such as children, include toys, children's clothing, children's furniture, and children's sports equipment, and the products related to human health, such as medical device and cosmetics. And the products are which pose safety risk during use, such as electrical hazards or mechanical injuries. Then the high voltage electrical products are the common example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So high risk products to the sensitive population. This is the sensitive products.
Would it be sort of simple to say for anything that goes in your mouth or on the body is a definite?
You mean the information provided on the
No,
menu?
if you're selling a product that is going to be put in your mouth, or working with food, or
yes.
it's going to be rubbed on your
yes.
body, to me they are two dead giveaways. And like insurance is more expensive. That makes everything different. That's sort of a bit of a rule of thumb that I always think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Food containing material also high sensitive product.
So if it goes in your mouth or on your body, or if it's for kids, I think that's the most sensitive, right? Any category for kids, anything for kids. Yeah. All right. Let's see, what other questions do we have? What about California Prop 65 for wooden items? So, Mark, can you just take over? I'll just be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, so John, you would
wooden product. Actually, in the California Proposition 65, the chemical list, there is a long list there, maybe over 1,000 hazardous substances, and the wood dust is one of them, which can cause cancer. Yeah. So normally, if there is no any other hazardous chemical substance, for example, coating, painting there, then the wood dust, you need to indicate it on the warning. Wood dust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, this is interesting. This is a very broad question, but let's just ask this. So,
whatever would you give to seller who are looking for soft product from emerging market? Oh, okay. From Vietnam. Yes.
It's a very broad question.
It's a very broad question. So maybe I can give the information in a general level. Yeah.
Yes.
When choosing supplier or product, the initial step is to evaluate the supplier's capability. This includes assessing their production capacity in terms of equipment and workforce, as well as their quality management practice, such as ISO 9001 standard. And the next step involving examining the supplier grasp of product compliance. Do they have experience supplying to the international market? Have they previously manufactured compliant products? Have their products been distributed on platforms like Amazon? Have they encountered product-related recalls in the past? Who are their typical clients? By considering these facts from various perspectives, you can assess the probability and extent of the product compliance. The third step is to weigh cost. The first two steps serve as the prerequisites. Depending on your product positioning, consider level of compliance required. Even high-quality products may struggle to achieve 100% compliance. Generally, the higher the compliance level, the greater the associated costs. So in conclusion, supplier equipped with calibrated equipment, certified management system, and a comprehensive product documentation can be viewed as your potential partners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. So last two questions. We're going to start wrapping up now. Michelle, if the manufacturer has SDS, say safety data sheet, does Amazon accept that?
That depends on the quality of the SDS. If the SDS can make by the manufacturer themselves or by the third party, yeah. But they are in general given in the similar format, but the quality is different. That depends. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry for so many questions. No worries, Kulbahar. That's what we are here for.
Yeah.
Who can issue children's product certificate? So maybe you
Okay.
can explain the process a little
Actually,
bit, Thomas. Yeah.
no matter, Megla. Hello. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
this is
Go
kind
ahead
of
and explain the process.
self-declaration based on the whole set of test report you get from the third party. If you are ensuring that your product already comply with the standards, then you can make the children product certificate by yourself. Yeah. Also, the third party can have issue this kind of the certificates. It's okay. Yeah. It's kind of a self-declaration. Yeah.
Okay. Self-declaration, children's product. Okay.
Yeah. But it should be given in
Does that
fixed form. In fixed form.
Sorry, it needs to be what?
In a fixed form. If there is a form requirement given by CPSC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a specific form that is required.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kulbar, I think it might be helpful for you to submit the regulations check request and then, have a chat with somebody in HQTS, either with Victor or maybe somebody from their India office as well, because you're manufacturing in India. And Victor, generally the requirements are the same regardless of the country that you're importing from, right? Whether you're importing from China or India into the
Yeah.
US, generally the
Yes.
requirements are the same. But I think for certain products the requirements can be different, right? But is it generally the same or is it different?
Generally the same.
Generally same.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for some special categories, for example, some food contact material from China, there is a special requirement in EU, from EU. Yeah. So
Okay.
we can have a check.
Okay. There was one other question. Do you also can you also explain what are the requirements in Japan? So you do cover other markets, right? US, Europe, but you can also cover Japan and other countries, correct?
Yes. We also cover Japan and
Okay.
Japan, South Korea. Yeah, we cover other markets as well. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Awesome.
I think for these questions regarding other marketplaces, you can also fill out the compliance check and we can review your case as well. So not just necessarily for the US. I know the topic here is for the US, but we can also
Yeah.
check for other markets.
Okay. One last time, I'm going to be showing the QR code in case anyone's interested or in case we still don't have 20. But here's the QR code one last time. And of course, you can get more information about HQTS on our website, indiasourcing.net/HQTS. And Victor, I want to thank HQTS for being a partner of India Sourcing Network, for being a sponsor for India Sourcing Trip and Vietnam Sourcing Trip. We really appreciate your partnership, and everybody who's used your services has been really happy and satisfied with the services. So, we're glad to promote HQTS as our quality partner. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Megla. Thank you for the kind words. We're glad to work with you as well. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. So thanks so much for joining us today. Thomas, it was really insightful, very good information. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely stay in touch. I'm sure a lot of people will reach out to you. And everybody who joined us today, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another edition of the MMK Show. Have a great week ahead. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.